Ah yes, Cambodia, where everything is apparently either ancient temples, jungle adventures, or someone trying to sell you a tuk-tuk ride every 3 seconds, right? Well, not exactly. So before you book that flight and pack your bags and tell your friends that you're going to find yourself in Cambodia, because there's a few things people keep saying about Cambodia that are, let's just say, not entirely true. So today I'm going to discuss the top 5 lies everybody seems to believe about Cambodia. From the you'll only eat bugs myth to the idea that the Wi-Fi runs on pure hope and ancient magic. And spoiler alert, some of these are so wrong, it's kind of a bit impressive. So let's start with the first lie. Lie 1. You'll only eat weird food like bugs. Because somewhere along the way, Cambodia got branded as the country where your only meal options are deep fried tarantula and mystery insects on a stick. And sure, those exist. You'll spot them in the markets, usually surrounded by tourists daring each other just to try one. It's practically a rite of passage at this point. But here's the reality. You are not surviving on bugs unless you actively go looking for them. And Cambodian food itself is actually incredible. And way more approachable than people expect. Think curries, grilled meats, fresh herbs, noodle soup, stir-fried everything, and rice dishes that somehow taste better than any rice dish has a right to. It's the kind of food where you'll say, I'll just have something small, and then you'll accidentally order enough for a family of 6. Plus, if you're feeling adventurous, no problem. There are cafes, bakeries, international restaurants everywhere, especially in the cities and the tourist hotspots. You can go from traditional Khmer dishes to a surprisingly good croissant in about 5 minutes. So yes, you can eat bugs in Cambodia, but acting like it's all there is, that's like saying when you're visiting France, you'll only be eating snails, which technically is possible if you work hard enough towards that anyway, but you'd have to be trying really hard to make that your entire personality. Lie 2. Cambodia is just Angkor Wat. Ah yes, the classic one. You tell someone you're going to Cambodia, and they instantly picture one thing. Sunrise at Angkor Wat, a few temples, and maybe a tree grown out of a ruin. And that's it. Trip complete. Pack it up. But Cambodia is way more than its most famous temple. And yes, Angkor Wat is incredible. No argument there. It's massive, it's ancient, it makes you feel like you've accidentally walked onto a movie set. But treating Cambodia like it begins and ends there is just not true. And reducing Cambodia to one temple complex is saying France is just the Eiffel Tower. Cambodia has thriving cities, coastal islands, mountain ranges, floating villages, and one of Southeast Asia's fastest changing urban landscapes. You've got Phnom Penh with its chaotic energy, street food that will absolutely change your life, and a history that hits a lot deeper than what most people expect. Then there's the coastal places like Koh Rong, where the water is so clear it looks fake, and the sand is suspiciously perfect. Like, is this a screensaver kind of perfect? And don't forget the countryside rice fields, tiny villages, random cows blocking the road like they own the place, because they probably do. It's the kind of place where you stop for a quick break and end up staying an hour, because someone handed you a coconut and started telling you their life story. So yes, Angkor Wat is amazing, but if that's all you see, you didn't really see Cambodia. You just saw its profile picture. And honestly, the best I've heard it described is Angkor Wat is the headline, but Cambodia is the whole story. Lie 3. Cambodia is stuck in the past. And this might be one of the biggest lies of them all, because people love to imagine Cambodia as this frozen in time place, ancient temples, dusty roads, and maybe a slow-moving ox cart in the background, like the whole country decided to stop updating around the 1800s. Yeah, not quite. Sure, Cambodia has deep history, you can feel it everywhere, but saying it's stuck in the past is way off. Cities like Phnom Penh are buzzing, you've got high-rise buildings going up, trendy cafes with better Wi-Fi than your apartment back home, and entire streets that come alive at night with food, music, and people who are clearly not living in some historical reenactment. And even in the smaller towns, you'll see a mix of the old and new constantly colliding in the best way possible. One minute it's a traditional market, then next to that it's somebody paying with a QR code. Tuk-tuks are still everywhere, but now they've been booked on apps, like it's the local version of ride-hauling startup boom. And yeah, you might still pass a wooden house on stilts or a farmer working on a rice field, but that's not stuck. That's just life continuing alongside everything else. So Cambodia isn't frozen in time. It's evolving, adapting, and moving forward, but just without throwing away everything that makes it unique. So saying there's no Wi-Fi or modern infrastructure is quite silly to say nowadays. So if you do show up expecting a living museum, you're going to be very confused when your tuk-tuk driver asks you if you prefer cash or digital payment. Because in 2026, it's really combining the old traditions with modern conveniences. Kind of the best of both worlds. Lie 4. That Cambodia is extremely cheap. Ah yes, the magical land where everything is $1 and your bank account finally gets a break. Until it doesn't. And to be fair, this used to be more true, and people still talk about it like Cambodia is back in its backpacker paradise of 2012. But yes, Cambodia can be affordable, street food is cheap, local markets are budget friendly, and you can still find decent accommodation without having to sell a kidney. But the idea that everything is dirt cheap, that's where things start to fall apart. Because the moment you want anything slightly Western or imported, suddenly that burger costs more than your entire day of local meals. And if you're craving cheese, congratulations, you've unlocked luxury pricing. Want a nice calf brunch? That'll be, I thought this was supposed to be cheap dollars. And then there were the little things that add up. Tuk-tuks, tours, temple passes, island ferries. Just one more drink. Next thing you know, your budget trip is having a bit of an identity crisis. And it's not that Cambodia is expensive, it's that it's not as cheap as people hype it up to be. And you can absolutely travel on a budget, but it still takes some awareness. And maybe resisting that third iced coffee in a jungle-themed cafe. So yes, Cambodia isn't going to drain your savings overnight, but if you show up expecting everything to cost pocket change, your wallet might have a few opinions of its own by day 3. Lie 5. It's unsafe for travellers. And this one gets repeated constantly, and it's usually repeated by the people that have never actually been there. The idea is that Cambodia is chaotic, unpredictable, maybe even dangerous, like you're taking a huge risk just by stepping off the plane. But the reality, for most travellers, Cambodia is no more dangerous than any other popular destination. You just need a bit of common sense. Are there things to watch out for? Of course. Petty theft can happen, especially in busy areas, and traffic can feel like a real-life video game on hard mode. Plus, crossing the street deserves its own award category altogether. But violent crime against tourists is relatively rare, and millions of people visit every year without any major issues. In fact, one of the things people don't expect is how friendly and welcoming the locals are. You'll have strangers helping you with directions, owners of businesses chatting with you like they've known you for years, and tuk-tuk drivers looking out for you way more than you'd expect. Most unsafe moments end up being more confusing than dangerous, like realising you've accidentally agreed to a tour you didn't fully understand, or getting very lost down a street that definitely wasn't on your map. So no, Cambodia isn't some lawless free-for-all. It's a place where if you stay aware, respect your surroundings, and don't do anything wildly reckless, you'll likely have an amazing and a very safe trip. Honestly, the biggest danger is thinking you'll only stay for a few days, and then suddenly you end up extending your trip. So there you have it, 5 lies people love to tell about Cambodia, and hopefully I've just saved you from believing them all. And is it perfect? No. Is it exactly what people expect? Also no. But that's kind of the whole point. Cambodia has this way of surprising you, and usually right after you thought you had it all figured out. Because Cambodia isn't simple, it isn't just temples, it isn't just trauma, it isn't just all cheap travel. It's a country full of contradictions. It's beautiful, messy, relaxing, frustrating, ambitious, and constantly evolving, all at the same time. And maybe that's the real truth. The biggest lie about Cambodia is thinking you can understand it quickly, because you can't. You have to stay longer, listen harder, and just let the country surprise you, because it will, every single time. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.